To answer those questions, let's go to Kin-hel. He's the vice chairman of Hong Kong's Democratic Party. Good to have you on the Newsmakers. The face mask ban is not popular among protesters, naturally. Do you believe that it came from Carrie Lam or it came from Beijing?
I believe that this face mask ban is coming from Carrie Lam herself and some of her pro-Beijing or pro-government supporters. Of course, we cannot estimate or we cannot guess which is the real driver of that face mask ban. But I think Carrie Lam, she holds a lot of responsibility on that.
And the fact that it was brought in under the colonial era emergency regulations ordinance, it gives the chief executive a lot of powers. Do you believe that she's going to use it for bigger things down the line, down the road?
Yes. Actually, that emergency law is a very powerful tool for Carrie Lam, and that's why the pro-democracy side, the lawmakers, they are filing a judicial review on her usage of the emergency law. And that emergency law, we think she can do basically whatever she thinks appropriate given the situation. So it's a very big power. For example, some of them are talking about having a curfew, and some of them are talking about delaying or canceling the district council election, which is going to happen in late November. So there are a lot of things that are rumored to be happen, that are rumored to be legislated by way of the emergency law itself. So it will create a lot of problems, and a lot of Hong Kong people were very unhappy with that law. We're very unhappy with the use of the emergency law, and we think Carrie Lam government, she lost her credibility. She lost any of her authority. So she used this kind of authoritative power. Is further inflaming Hong Kong situation and destabilizing the situation.
But Kin-hel, from the government's perspective, there has been a lot more militancy over the past few weeks than a lot of protesters would admit to. There have been Molotov cocktails being thrown. The subway was set on fire. Arson attacks. They believe that these are desperate times, and they call for desperate measures because they're responding to a threat that is moving beyond peaceful, or there's more of a gray area between the peaceful protesters and the militant protesters. Do you accept that?
I think the main problem in Hong Kong here is that Hong Kong people were actually asking for something very, very minimal. For example, you can see a lot of police brutality since June. From June to now, the protest has gone on for 4 months, and we actually see no police officer, not a single police officer, being investigated or suspended due to his actions against the protesters. But of course, we see a lot of live stream. You can see a lot of live videos and footage that the police are beating up people, even though they are subdued, even though they're not doing anything. So I think the only way to alleviate the problem is to investigate into the police brutality and herself to resign and to take accountability to what she did to Hong Kong. So all those other measures that she thinks is appropriate will inflame Hong Kong. These are not the answers to Hong Kong people. These are not the answer to Hong Kong protesters. I would say protesters are very rational and they're very targeted, even though you can see a lot of Molotov cocktail, or you can see the railway station being inflamed. But I would say if the government have some positive response to the protesters will just maybe de-escalate. So the only problem in Hong Kong is that the government refused to all those demands, refused to all the protesters' demand. So I think if Carrie Lam wants to de-escalate the problem, then she should think about how to respond to Hong Kong people as a whole.
4 months down the line, there has not been the dialogue that everybody has been hoping for. Why?
I think the main reason is that Hong Kong people are very we're experienced in all those dialogue. 5 years ago, during the umbrella movement, there is a dialogue between the student leader and Carrie Lam herself. She was the chief secretary at that time. Afterwards, 5 students who were engaged in the dialogue, 4 of them are arrested and go to jail. So I think this is kind of a fact that Hong Kong people can realize. And the other reason for the situation like this now, that there is totally no dialogue, because the government shut all the doors. She said she will not give in. She will not. She will not give any more concessions. So, what's the point to talk to her?
Okay, Lau Kin-hai, pleasure having you on the Newsmakers. Looking forward to getting you back on the show and hopefully debating with somebody who's pro Carrie Lam or even pro Beijing. But that's it for now for here on the Newsmakers. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.